Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mariel Gallego, and I'm sitting in for Ken, who's traveling this week and next week. The last time I offered a guided practice with your Sangha was in September 2021, so it's been quite some time. I'm happy to be back here with all of you today. I'm just going to make sure that I've got all the Facebook and Zoom links. To prepare for today's Sunday sit, I found myself reading about generosity in spiritual life and also recalled moments when I was on the receiving end of the most inspiring generosity from my spiritual teachers. I'd like to offer some reflections on generosity, and then we'll sit for our meditation with time at the end to check in. Last week, leading up to the Thanksgiving holiday here in the US, Ken offered a talk on the benefits of gratitude. I practiced his invitation to notice opportunities for gratitude. And over the weekend, I had the opportunity to spend some time with family members whose generosity I experienced is coming from a very pure and unconditional place. It got me thinking about the link between gratitude and generosity, which Tara Brach so beautifully teaches, that gratitude is like breathing in, letting ourselves be touched by the goodness in others in our world. Generosity is like breathing out, sensing our mutual belonging and offering our care. Last month, I was riding an early train home from work like I always do on Wednesday afternoons, so that I can get home early to pick up my son from school. I work as a psychologist in a New York City hospital, and I love riding the train home earlier in the day. It's quiet and there's lots of seats. For me, it's a real treat to be able to have some time alone in the middle of the day to catch up with myself. As I sat quietly looking out the window, I started to hear some loud talking towards the front of the car. And I looked up to see what the racket was, and I noticed the conductor speaking to a young woman who was trying to pull up a train ticket on her phone. As the conductor raised his voice and pointed out that the passenger was showing him a picture of a ticket and not a real ticket, things started to get loud and a little uncomfortable. Especially for me, I noticed my heart start to beat a little faster. My body became tense. I could hear the agitation and condescension in the conductor's voice, as well as the defensiveness in the female passenger's voice. As my body became agitated during this exchange, I noticed an impulse to act. I found myself wanting to help this young woman who was being asked to pay for the train ticket with money that she didn't have, or she would have to leave the train. And I went back and forth with myself for a minute. Do I get involved? Do I not get involved? Do I say something? And then I remembered Jack Kornfield's teaching on generosity. He says, whenever a thought of giving enters your mind, do it. Whether it's a gift of money, time, helping care, or offering a possession, if you even think of a generous act, just follow it. So as the conductor and young woman argued back and forth about the ticket, I went up to him and said that I would pay for it. The young woman thanked me and I went back to my seat. And when the conductor came to me so that I could buy the ticket, he seemed a bit disappointed. He told me that this young woman was a frequent flyer and did this quite often. She was known to the staff for coming on the train and not having a ticket. He felt bad for charging me the full price and charged me for a senior citizen fare. And as I sat there in contemplation, I noticed myself feeling bad about what I did. I felt as though I did something wrong. Maybe I reinforced the behavior of the young woman who engages in this behavior frequently. And then I thought about the second part of Jack's teaching. where he encourages us to not believe the doubt. With generosity, sometimes we worry that we will regret our generous act, second guess ourselves, and a bit of doubt comes in. Don't believe the doubts. Instead, look for spontaneous thoughts of generosity and follow them. You'll find that they make you inevitably happy. With that teaching, I was reminded of my own pure intentions at that time. I didn't want the young woman to have to get off the train and didn't like how she was being talked to. So I just bought a train ticket and that was okay. The Buddha said that a true spiritual life is not possible without a generous heart. Generosity, or dana in Pali, is the first of the 10 paramis, noble qualities associated with the path of the Bodhisattva. Bodhisattvas are warriors of compassion, those who forgo their own suffering to tend to the suffering of others, so that all may be enlightened. When these qualities are cultivated, they lead to awakening. Dana is the action of giving, whether it is our money, resources, food, words, a smile, or our attention. The path begins with generosity because of the joy that arises from a generous heart. When we offer joy, happiness, and love to others, the other person might become happy and will likely become happy ourselves. We loosen the grips of clinging, attachment, and greed. Perfection of generosity allows us to learn to experience love and joy without clinging, and to make space for the difficult and painful times that we will experience in our lives. The practice of generosity is to give what's meaningful and valuable, and to give it with non-attachment. We learn to let go. And I looked further to Jack Kornfield and his teaching on generosity. And I learned that it's traditionally taught on a scale that gradually opens on 3 levels, from tentative giving to brotherly or sisterly giving to royal giving. We are encouraged to begin developing generosity at whatever level we find it arising in our heart. In tentative giving, the initial generosity comes with hesitation. We're ambivalent about what we're giving away. We keep the item hidden in some drawer for sentimentality and then come back to a place where it's time to give it away. And when we finally part with it, we encounter a sense of happiness and freedom as we let go of this possession that will likely benefit someone else. And there's a joy in this freedom of letting go. The second level of giving is friendly giving, in the spirit of brotherly or the sisterly sense, an offering of our time, energy, and material assistance to someone whom we love or someone who's in need. And there's no hesitation, and an easy spirit motivates this generosity. This practice of friendly giving cultivates our capacity for joy, friendship, in an open and loving heart. The third and most developed level of giving is royal giving. In this type of giving, our generosity is spontaneous and comes from a pure and unconditional place without any hope of reward. We want others to be happy and peaceful and give the best of what we have so that others may enjoy. And again, this could be our time, our energy, a material possession, something precious to us. May enjoy. And again, this could be. I've been on the receiving end of tremendous generosity from my spiritual teacher, who's a Tibetan Lama here in New York City. We met a number of years ago when my then fiance and now husband, Jonathan, and I were looking for an officiant for our wedding. Jonathan had recently been to Tibet and long felt a deep connection to Buddhism after living in Nepal as a young college graduate many years prior. About an officiant, he suggested, what about a Tibetan Lama? And I immediately was intrigued and liked the idea, and I Googled Tibetan Lama New York City and found my teacher, my now teacher, who actually answered the phone and kindly took down my information to pass on to his secretary to see if his schedule would accommodate our wedding. From that moment of speaking to him, I knew that I had found my teacher, that I didn't really even know that I was looking for. And he did officiate our wedding and has shown me by example, time and time again, what it is to give from a pure place of presence, love, kindness, and compassion. He's given me the gift of time, attention, and spiritual guidance through all of life's joys and sorrows. Back in 2015, my beloved dog and great mindfulness teacher, Peanut Ann, died at the age of 16 and a half. And my teacher helped me through, my spiritual teacher helped me through the process of her death and dying. I leaned on him, I leaned on our Sangha at the time. And a few months after Peanut's death, I had dinner with my teacher. As we sat in his shrine room, I admired a beautiful green Tara statue. When we were married, our teacher had brought a green Tara statue for the shrine, and I'd always wanted to find one for our home. And without a moment of hesitation, my teacher gave me the Tara statue. I tried to say no, but he was so joyfully insistent that I knew it was right to accept it. We were so touched by his generosity and were filled with joy for some time. Our teacher's kindness inspired us to carry it forward. And here's green Tara right here. To cultivate generosity directly is another fundamental part of living a spiritual life. Like meditation, generosity can actually be practiced. With practice, its spirit forms our actions, and our hearts will grow stronger and lighter. Generosity is a quality that can be cultivated through mindfulness, through compassion practices and metta or loving kindness practice. Generosity is considered a deliberate practice where we are on purposely, deliberately planning and taking action. When you offer generosity, like your words, actions, time, money, consider taking a pause and sense what that feels like. What feels like physically in the body, in our hearts, our minds. The more you get used to that feeling of closeness and connection to others, the freedom of letting go, and the joy that comes with generosity, the more familiar this becomes. It becomes a more natural response. And this is something that can be cultivated. So let's sit together for some quiet moments of arriving in practice. So I'll invite you to ground your feet to the floor. And lengthen the spine, sitting upright. And the gaze is lowered. Your eyes are closed. Your hands are placed gently in your lap or by your sides. Then feeling the weight of your body on the surface you're sitting or lying down on. Feeling how gravity pulls you to the earth, how you are held by the earth in this moment. And as a way of gathering the attention, breathing in, knowing that you are breathing in, and breathing out, knowing that you are breathing out. Breathing in through the nostrils, filling the lungs, and a long, slow exhale. And another, taking a deep breath in through the nostrils, feeling the breath as it moves through the body. And then a long, slow exhale. And then allowing the breath to flow into its own natural rhythm. In these moments, we're letting go of memories of the past, worries about the future, just settling into the here and now. So mindfulness practice begins in the body. The mind may wander, but the body will remain. So noticing any physical sensations that are calling for your attention as we begin our practice. I'll invite you for your practice today to consider choosing an anchor, touch point in the body that you can uh, come back to over and over again to help remind you when you've left, when your mind has wandered off from the present moment. An anchor you can consider is the breath in the nostrils. As you breathe in, noticing the coolness of the air. As you breathe in through the nostrils, and then notice the shift in the temperature of the air as you breathe out. It's a little warmer when it leaves your body. Another anchor you can consider is the rise and fall of the chest. I'll invite you to try with me. So breathing in, noticing how the chest will rise. And breathing out, noting how the chest will fall. Rising and falling. Noticing the physical sensations that come with this process of breathing. And if your mind is feeling a little busy today, and if you want to move away from the area of your brain and further down your body, you can choose the breath in the belly. Some subtle sensations in the belly as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Or you can notice the sensations of your feet grounded on the floor. So any of these anchors are an option for you in your practice today. So when the mind wanders, you come back to one of these chosen places, these anchors, come home to the present moment over and over again. The mind wanders, come back to your anchor and give it a try. remembering to recognize the present moment. The mind has wandered. You bring it back to your anchor, beginning again. Over and over. The mind may wander, the body remains present. See if it's possible to be right here, right now. Allowing the present moment to be as truly simple as it can be. You find that your mind's wandered off to other objects of attention. Gently take note and come back home to your anchor. In the last minute or two of today's practice, see if it's possible to be present for the physical sensations that accompany your anchor. So coming back to the body, sensations of the breath in the nostrils or the chest or the belly or your feet on the floor, whatever your anchor. You can intentionally be present for these sensations. If you've received any benefit from today's practice, may those benefits extend to all beings everywhere so that they may be free from suffering. May all beings be safe and protected. May all beings be happy and peaceful. May all beings be healthy and strong. May all beings live with ease. Thank you for your practice today. So we do have a little time if anyone had a comment or reflection on today's practice. I welcome you to check in. Okay. So I think that will conclude our sit and practice for today, unless there was another question, reflection.
Oh, I just wanted to thank you. That was beautiful. And I really liked the story you told at the beginning. And then the use of an anchor I found was very helpful. I was focusing on the breath in my nostrils. So that helped bring me back, because as you said, the mind always wanders off. So I didn't have any questions, but I just wanted to thank you very much. And especially in this season of gratitude, Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Julie. Very nice to meet you.
You too.
And yeah, I will be back next week, same time, same place. So looking forward to practicing together again. So wishing you all a wonderful day and week ahead. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.